Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Still Standing Podcast. My name is Dead Action Jones, and I'm joined by Joe Zombie. How are you doing today, sir?
Hot. I'm hot and sweaty, and I wish I was dead. If I'm being honest. It's, my AC's out, and, doing what I can to try and fix it, but it's not. It is like 80-something degrees outside, and it's about that temperature in my house, and it's turning into an oven, so... If this is the last time you see me on camera before I die of heat stroke, I just want to let you know it's been a good run.
Okay. I think we'll be okay on that end, but
You don't know.
You
don't know my life.
I get your point, but yeah. So, how has your week been?
Up until a couple days ago, it's good. Yeah. I've actually found a mode in Warzone that I like, so we've been dropping into Warzone.
Yes, that mode is so... The Clash mode is so much fun, and boy, you know what?
It is abject chaos, but it's fun.
It is so fun, and it's just like, here's some random objectives, and also it's just team deathmatch and chaos in a giant field. Maybe there's an airstrip or something. I don't know. We'll go ahead and talk about this now because it was going to be in the news, but it's now that we're talking about Warzone, we might as well just go ahead and get to it.
Sure.
Apparently, they are nerfed. They have released a patch today.
Okay.
It buffs every Vanguard gun because they said, "Boy, these guns are just not as good as everyone else's in the entire game." So we're buffing them across the board. So every single Vanguard gun does way better in Warzone now.
Awesome! I can't wait to use my 3-line rifle.
So
that I've been using instead of the 50 caliber the gun that shoots through 3 buildings and a cow to get to you.
Yes. Also, they've nerfed the armored truck because the armored truck was apparently people were just like, this game is it's unplayable because you can't hurt the person inside of the truck. So they have reduced the amount of health the truck has. They have reduced the amount of damage resistance that it gives the people inside of the truck, and they have reduced the amount of damage that the turret does by 40% to bring it in line with other vehicles, but it is still going to be powerful because they were like, it's literally unplayable to be around this thing, and it's not fun. And
because people just park it in front of a building and just bombard it.
Yes.
It's an AA turret, and you're like, why are you shooting at the ground?
Yeah, so there's that, and then they've buffed Vanguard guns across the board, and also they have fixed the KGM-40, the Volkssturmgewehr, the AS-44, the NZ-41, and the Gorenko. All were the ones that did not get XP.
Getting levels.
Yeah, they were not getting any XP, and so they have fixed all of that. So
we weren't crazy when we were looking at these things going, I don't think I'm getting levels with these guns.
Yeah, turns out it was literally just every gun we were trying to level.
It turns out, the ones we wanted to use.
Yeah, the one sniper I wanted to use during the 6 days of double XP were all just...
just pissing in the wind, apparently.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. What are you doing? Don't do it.
Yeah. We leveled up some other guns, though, but, the ones we were trying to do, we were like, God damn it.
That new Nikita assault rifle is like level 70 for me already. That thing is real good. I really like that thing.
And now it's gotten a buff. Maybe that's all people are going to be using now. It's just going to be Vanguard weapons.
Oh my God, yes, give me. Make my favorite things stronger.
Yeah. Because
maybe it'll make that new scout rifle. Maybe it'll make that new marksman rifle better. I mean, it's not for me too, but also it's the newest stuff.
But it's also the guns that we traditionally play Vanguard because that's the new game. So we want to level up those guns and those operators because those operators are the other ones that level up and all that other stuff. So to buff those guns is good for me because those are the things.
Yeah, because I'm going to use them in zombies and I'm going to use them in whatever. So it's fine.
Like, don't get me wrong, I like using a Grau or a Krig or whatever other gun you want to use.
I like using my double Diamatis that I maxed out in Cold War. I like using that. I like using my weird tag grenades as a World War II person that doesn't have a line to throw a tag grenade, so they just yell throwing frag every time they do it. And I love it, and I don't care.
Even Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
Because he's technically a World War II character.
Yeah. So I have played a lot of Warzone. The Guardian games just started in Destiny 2, and I literally somehow have missed. I've never played during the Guardian games. So going into this is the one holiday I've never taken part of in Destiny before. It's interesting.
I did it for the first time last year.
Yeah, it's interesting. Apparently I guess they've changed a bunch of stuff about it or something. It's like there's like little motes that drop, and it changes based on the color of who did it, and you pick that stuff up, and you can carry like 500 of them, and then you use those to buy bounties to go do to get gold medals, and then you go to this big pedestal and turn them in. You turn those in, and then I've turned in enough that a bronze torch has lit on the left side, and they're like the right side torches can't light until the weekend, because you have to go, you can do your nightfall runs all throughout the week, and it counts as training, but then when the weekend gets here, you can then do it, and it's considered actual competition, and you can only do that on the weekend, and that'll light the right side torches all the way up to platinum, and the left side can be done by turning in medals to get points and that stuff.
Sure.
And apparently, if you go do your nightfall runs throughout the week and you get buffs by doing your training stuff. So I've gotten to silver because the nightfall is, boy, it is the Alagul strike. And so, you're fighting the light blade, and it's rough with randos to do that. Is rough because that fight is very long.
Most things are rough with randoms a lot of the time.
Also, they seem to, since we've played, they seem to have buffed the dudes who throw shields.
Oh, good.
The enemies. Yeah. Because they can now just like one tap you. They don't, it's not even their ult. They just throw their shield now, and you just die. You're just dead. And so like I'll be like and then he just goes, and then yee! Yeah, there's no charge up, there's no nothing. It's just yee! And I'm just like, Guardian down. I'm like, that's me, guys.
Yes, I am. I am down.
I'm now dead. There's a lot of new cosmetics and stuff right now. There's like there's 2 new ghost shells that are kind of amazing. There's one is a tennis ball.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. One is it looks like a Hawaiian shirt, but it's a swim cap pulled down over its head and strapped on, and it's kind of amazing. I'm kind of like, I kind of want that one. And it's pretty good. There is an emote you can get.
Hawaiian shirt ghost shell.
Yes, there's an emote you can get right now. It's called like "The Champ is Here" or something, and you literally like hold up a giant like WWE title belt, and you're like, yeah, take it, and then you slam it on the ground. I'm like, why did you do that?
Why'd you spike your belt, champ?
I don't know, but there's a ton of ships. There's like new sets of gear, like the new cosmetic sets, there's a new Guardian game set, but they're not like those goofy looking Olympian outfits where it's like this one's.
I thought the Titan ones actually looked pretty cool.
Okay, but like it still looks goofy because it's like the white, red, yellow, and blue, right? It's like you're looking like the Olympics, woo, and you're like, yeah, I look like I snorkel, leave me alone. But like the new ones for this year look sick. Like I'm thinking about using Bright Dust because I'll have enough Bright Dust to get it. Thinking about using my Bright Dust to get it because it looks dope. Also, there is a Sparrow right now that is it's one of the Guardian Games things, and it has like a bunch of like corporate branding on it, but they're all holograms. And it's one of the ones where you actually like sit up like a chopper, which is the ones that I like. And so it actually looks nice. And I'm like, oh, I can get that one for Bright Dust. Maybe I'll do that. But like the Guardian Games cosmetic, like the Guardian Games transmog stuff for this year, you can get the past sets still too. But the one for this year, they just look sleek. They're just like they almost look like Rasputin armor in a way, if you know what I mean. Like that kind of angular style.
Sure. It's kind of like the pyramid stuff.
Yeah, but it's Guardian Games themed. So I played a little bit of that because the Heir Apparent is one of the only it's the only exotic I don't have that is not the new grenade launcher that we haven't went and gotten yet from this new season. from that story quest, and it is the only other one that I did not have, other than the raid ones that I don't have because I don't do. I don't have an active raid group in Destiny, and I don't feel like grinding.
I just don't have the time commitment to actually get to the point where I can raid.
Well, yeah, right. Well, it's like, it's fine if you're just gonna, like, if you know how to do it and you can get it knocked out. The thing that kills me is when you're like spending 3 hours getting a pub group together to do the first 3 fights, and what you need is on the 6th fight, and you're like,
right.
But,
and then you start doing those LFG things like, please, just let me in this one fight.
Yes.
I just need to do this thing, for God's sake.
Speaking of that, I don't think we've talked about this because we just did this. I think we did this after last episode of the podcast, but we did finally finish that Sea of Thieves event.
Yeah, we had done the event, but we hadn't actually done the summoning, or we hadn't actually gotten the title and everything.
That took over 12 hours of combined waiting for us to actually get a group together to actually do the summon. And it got to the point where we literally were waiting so long to get people to summon that I actually went and just found a group that was like, we just need one person to summon. We have ships here. We just need a person. And I was like, I'll join. And then I was like, hey, Joe, let's just try to do this for you. And then he finds a group that's like, we have a brig and we have a sloop who has a person, but there's only 4 of us and we need one other person. And I was like, tell him to invite me. I'm sitting right here.
Rando, just like, please invite
He's literally
this person.
just messaging
I'm giving you the gamer tag. Invite this person, please. No, don't listen to them. They don't matter.
Yeah,
fuck those people. Listen to me.
So the other group is like, hey, invite our friend, and that person is like
fuck
who
your
am
friends.
I inviting?
My friend was first.
And then I'm like, hey, I'm just sitting here because I've already got it done, but I'm here to help. I can be joined in. I can join in and do whatever. So I made it easier on the person to summon me, and I messaged them and said, hey, would you like? Hey, can you invite me? And then they sent me an invite, and then they told them, hey, I invited your friend. And they're like, no, you didn't. He's sitting right here. He clearly didn't get an invite. And I like show up wearing my like full Athena's ghost clothing and all my legend shit. And I'm like, hello, boys.
I am here.
Let us play the instrumentation as it is commanded by the Sea Witch.
100%, and then we immediately left.
But here's the thing: we started playing the song. I stood there.
They kept
started playing the song, and they kept stopping every time a phase. It was like every time a phase would activate, because when you start playing the song, it starts doing things in phases, and every time a phase would start, they'd be like, "We did it," and they would stop, and then it would shrink all the way back down, and I was like, "Why are you stopping playing the song?"
We're over here just playing our hurdy-gurdy. He's going, keep playing! Play, man! Keep playing!
The boat! And then as soon as they look, and here's the thing.
This is what keeps me from getting this. I'm uninstalling Sea of Thieves. I'm never playing this again.
Also, I feel really bad for those people, but also I don't.
No.
Because
I would have felt bad if it wasn't such a chore.
Yes. Because we were forced to do this, to find a group to do the summon just to get access to get the credit for the summon, and then we immediately, the moment it said that he had credit for the thing, we're like,
100%.
All right, let's go do something else. So we like immediately left.
Anything else.
We like left the game, and then they got to fight the Shrouded Ghost and get all the loot. And we didn't care.
But I'm hoping that in the next week or so, we'll also be able to come back on the next episode. Like, hey. We also did the Athena's voyage, and that was cool.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I'm kind of just letting everybody kind of just get bored and stop, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who are the dudes who are like, it's all about stealing people's loot and shit, bro. And those people are going to hit Athena 30, and then they're going to get bored and go play something else. And I'm going to be like, like my dude's going to wake up in the tavern and be like, what did I miss, guys?
There's one thing that I know we've talked about many times, but guess what? It's still a thing. I'm still gonna fucking talk about it. When I was looking on the LFG shit to look for anyone to do the summoning,
there was just a lot of people saying, "Let's just go kill."
Of just let's just go steal other people's shit.
This
is all we're gonna do, and I'm like, wow, what a bunch of garbage people you are.
It was. We're gonna go steal their loot, and we may not even turn it in, like levels of like petty.
Yeah.
It was
one of them literally said, why do the work when you can steal other people's? I'm like, you're a shitbag is what you are. Because I'll tell you right now, if you're one of those people, fuck you too. I don't give a shit. Fuck off. That is the worst kind of person to be on Sea of Thieves.
It's true, but also the thing that I will point out about this whole thing is that it's way easier to just get loot than it is to steal somebody else's. Loot is so frequent and so common now on the Sea of Thieves. Not like back in my day when we had to go gather. Well, we had to gather.
Back in 2018 at the beginning.
We had to go collect animals.
Somehow, I feel like Sea of Thieves came out so much longer ago than 2018.
Yeah. No, man. It just goes to show that they've been the absolute best about updating that game.
There was how little there was in the game. It made me feel like it actually happened 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, I get that. But that game has come a long way and does not even look the same anymore.
You're not wrong. I'm not saying that it hasn't. Again, that is probably my biggest turnaround on a game I have ever had.
Yes, it was me literally going, this game's got there's something to this game, man. Like we gotta play, and you're like, I'll play when they add content. I'm like, and they add the story mode. Got fishing. I'm like, they started adding the story mode in, and then he was like, okay, maybe I come in and do a couple of those, and then after that, it was just like, gotcha, bitch. They just kept
like, oh, this is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, correct. You're like, I was gonna have fun driving around the boat. I'm like, you can drive the boat all the time, buddy. It's fine. I've driven the boat enough.
I'm still not like levels of a player where you can like see the silhouette of an island and be like, oh yeah, it's fucking Shark Tooth Key or whatever. I'm like, man, that looks like a lump of rocks. I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah, I'll be like, that's plunder, and you're like. Or I'll be like, what outpost is that? And you'll be like, it's a big needle. It must be Ancient Spire. And I'm like, haha, trick question. Ancient Spire is actually a weird little mesa. It's not actually a spire. Plunder is actually a spire. But anyway, look at the map. You'll see I'm right.
No, I don't have all the Sea of Thieves dirt knowledge.
Yes, I'm aware.
We're over here playing pirate, but you're not piratey enough.
Yeah.
Read your map, squeeb.
Yeah. I'm the Dadmiral for a reason.
100%.
Everybody calls me the Dadmiral.
I was the Dadmiral for all of 20 minutes with some people we were playing with. We were doing when
we were doing the event
the with some people and I will never be that again.
Yeah, and then he was like, you know what? You can keep your role in the group. It's fine. I don't want it.
I am obviously not made for this.
I'm like, okay, fine, cool, great.
Because eventually I just get fed up to start doing it all myself.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that goes, come on, guys, I need to get you to do this. I'm like, fuck it. It's faster if I just go and do it myself. I don't care if it's a guy to go down 3 levels from board.
Carrot sticks. Come on over here. Grab a juice box. We're going to have a good time, everybody. Okay, great. Come on, you guys.
And I'm over there going, pull the sails or I will choke you.
Yes. We have been playing a lot of Bug Snacks lately. That's one thing we've been playing. Yeah. It's real good. That DLC is pretty neat. It's funny because we got back to the if you've been watching our series, we got back to the Bug Snacks, played like 5 episodes of just going and doing requests and just having fun playing the game because the game is fun. And then finally, at the end of one of the episodes, started the DLC because I'm like, well, I guess we're done with those now. So we start the DLC and we're like, oh, wow, this is really cool. Oh, what is that? Oh, new Bug Snacks. Oh, what is that? Oh, what does that do? Oh, what is that? And then, it's like neat.
Yeah, go play Bug Snacks. Meatball Spider. Never playing this again.
Yeah, I'm giant Meatball Spider.
Bug Snacks is over.
No, thank you.
It was going to be the favorite. We're going to transform someone into a spaghetti monster.
I'm going to turn Shelda into a spaghetti nightmare.
We also played some of your favorite game, In Sound Mind, which is, I know, your game of the year, if it could have been. It's true. You love it so much, and you're excited to keep playing. You want to get 7 keys this time instead of 4? Absolutely.
No.
Well, look at it this way. At least those had door handles, and it just needed a key. We just had to go do that. Just needed keys. It was fine. And then the game was all metal about it, meta about it, and was just like, "Oh man, this is so many keys." We're like, "I know, right?"
So what he's talking about, he is hinting at a moment that made me stop playing a game for the channel. InSound Mind has really awesome highs and really shitty lows and a lot of weird padding in places that it doesn't need. So we got to this part where they're like, you have to get in this bunker. And we're like, okay, we've already dealt with dumb padding and like things where we couldn't find anything. The train situation, for instance, where we couldn't find that we had to sneak under an air conditioner unit on a 3-story building on the outside.
Our adventure and frustration. Dumb. Yeah. Great.
Yes. Streetcar named Frustration is that episode. And then, we did an episode where they were like, oh, you need to get to the next level. We're like, oh, you need to go in this bunker. We're like, all right, cool. We get to the bunker. We hack the door. We get in the door. And then the door says, well, you've hacked it, but now you need a code. The code is 4 numbers. To get these numbers, everybody, you have to go to 4 different towers throughout this level while there is a giant kaiju with a sniper rifle for a dick walking around shooting at you with his sniper rifle dick and his spotlight face. And you have to hack him and turn him off, and it only works temporarily, and then you have to run to one of the towers. But when we got to the first tower, we had to do this entire thing to get into the parking lot. Once we got into the parking lot, we then had to go through the entire building to turn off one light in the water treatment plant. Then when we did that, we then went outside, and it was like, well, you didn't open the gate. So we had to go all the way back through the water filtration plant, get all the way in there, turn off the switch. Then we go all the way back outside, fight some more enemies, and then they're like, okay, well, now you've got to take this crank that you got from inside of that building, and now that's your door handle, and you use that on every door. And we had to do 2 jumping puzzles that required you to crouch and stand and jump over things on a platform that when you're standing on it, it does not move. It does not keep you there anchored and you move like most games do. You're literally like free balling around. Like you're just like sliding all over this place. So like there's literally moments in the footage where I'm like basically floating out here off the side. And you have to do 2 of these back to back, no checkpoint. And then after you do that, I was so frustrated and so just done. I was like, I literally look and I go, there's like a sheet metal panel in front of us as the floor. And I said, after doing this shit, I said, that's going to fall down. Like, fuck this. They're just going to pad this out so hard.
I was trying to be the most optimistic I've ever been in a game.
He was literally he's like, they wouldn't do that to you. There's no way they would put it. Look, there's only 2 puzzles. There's nothing else there. And I'm like,
I think we can put out a TikTok of this.
Like, yes, literally. There's a TikTok. There's not a TikTok of the whole jumping section because it's like 20 minutes long of me just headbutting a wall and being really mad. And getting more and more and increasingly frustrated, and then by the end of it, you get the thing where
you're literally being stung by bees, and me going, look, man, they're only a few stinging you. It's fine.
Yeah, correct.
It's fine. We're gonna get honey at the end of this. Look at it. Come on.
We get the whole thing done, and I'm like, that floor is going to fall out when I touch something. I just know something's going to break, and they're going to add more to this because there's no way they're going to let me just walk through here and get out of here. And so. Not only you can't just walk the 10 feet to the thing, you also have to crouch and go around the long way through a bunch of pipes and stand up and crouch and do stuff to get. After you do the jumping puzzle, you do 2 jumping puzzles, and then you do the crouching and standing thing to get through there to the door. After you've already done the entire water filtration plant to get here. Then I put the door handle on there because you have to put on the doorknob to use a doorknob. I turn it. Each time manually you have to click it to turn it. It's not like in Resident Evil when you put the wheel on there and it just turns it for you. It doesn't do any of that. You have to do everything manually, every single click. And then what happens? The fucking floor falls out. I called it bullshit. I fall down in the sewer. I'm mad. I've lost my fucking...
And that's where we exist now, is in the sewer. All of it's shit.
And then they're like, okay, so now that you've done these jumping puzzles with no checkpoints, you've done all this stuff to get where you are now, keep in mind, this is only tower 1 of 4. I've done all this for 1 letter. Haven't even gotten it yet. So then they're like, okay, you're down here in the sewer, and you have to find the key to open this door. Okay, it's a pitch black area, so you need your flashlight. But also, the entire place is poisoned, so you have to put your gas mask on. So you have,
which for some reason you can't do this.
You can't have your gas mask. You can't have your gas mask on and use your flashlight at the same time. But somehow you can use the crank and twist your hands at the same time. But you can't do the. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's dumb.
And one, you have to balance it on your face, and you can do that. But the other one, you kind of you can't. You'd have your hand in your face. It doesn't make any sense.
It's weird. It's really stupid. It's dumb. And so you do this whole thing. We find a key. We take the key to the door. It says not the right key. Go look around in there some more for like another 10 minutes. I find another key. I bring it back. Not the right key. I go in there and find another key. Not the right key. I go in there and find another fucking key. Finally, the right key. And now there's a door inside there.
And then we had the rest of the keys, and it was super easy at that point.
And then there's another door in there that needed one of the other keys that we found, and then another door that needed one of the other keys, and another door that needed the last key. So basically, if we found the first key on the first try, we would then have to do that for the 3 other doors inside. For one of the fucking 4 parts of the fucking bunker code.
Yeah, it's great.
And then after we got
puzzle,
after we got up to the top, after all this padding, all this BS, we get up to the top, and then you have to literally hack the stars with a fucking computer to make a number appear
in the right order.
And then if you mess it up, it resets the whole puzzle, and you have to hack the whole thing in order again. So you have to remember what order you're supposed to hack it in. Bro,
that was one number that we got.
That's
4. We couldn't look over at the other stars in the sky.
Yeah, somehow you have to get up on a water tower to hack stars in the sky, but you can't hack the rest of the stars in the sky from the same water tower. You have to go to the Ranger Tower and the Weather Vane and the other places. And then after that, we then had to do a thing where I then had to ride a train. I had to go get a train ticket while I'm being shot at by a giant sniper rifle dick with a spyglass head or a spotlight head. And then to just add the padding, instead of you just walking in the door and going straight up to the door, you have to go through, you know, when you're at like Six Flags or Disney World and they have like those like queues.
You have to go through the queue.
Walk through the queue.
You have to obey the rules. We're not savages. Oh my God.
You're being shot at by a kaiju who has a dick rifle, and you have to go through the entire You have to go through the entire queue to get there.
Yeah.
And then you hit the button, then you have to wait for the fucking train to arrive. And so you just have to go back and hide somewhere until it comes. And then you get on the train, and then you have to fight the boss from the train. And it only turns him off for a couple seconds. Then you have to go to the other station and go through that queue while still being shot at again. Then you get to the door. Guess what? Door's blocked. Oh, you just shut down the boss? Well, that sucks. Now you have to sit there and wait for him to wake back up so he can shoot the sniper rifle at you, so he can shoot the box that you're hiding behind so the door will open. And that's where I got to that game, and I'm not playing any more of it because that's fucking... No, actually, we got outside of that door. We got to a... Yeah. There's a door.
And we had a conversation of like, look, man, I'm not going to make you play any more of this.
There is a door with a lock on the fence. We just had the boss shoot 7 doors open for us. We walk up to that door. It's the one he can't shoot open.
He ran out of ammo.
You have to stand. No, there was the metal door on the way that we were standing next to, and he was shooting us, and it wouldn't open the door, and it said requires a lock. Then we get to the other door, and we're like, I guess we have to stand here because the door is locked. And then he walks up to us and starts aiming at us, and he goes, out of ammo, and then he runs away. And then that was where we stopped, and that's where that will lie. If you want to go see the rest, go play that fucking game because I'm not doing it.
That was the finale.
I literally put, okay, so I don't want to call it a finale because we didn't finish the game. So if you ever have to do this where we quit playing a game, I just put end in parentheses after the episode number. So you know we're not playing this again.
You know, or if enough people want it, we might play some more. Just saying. If you guys, up in arms, demand more in sound mind. We might be able to convince them to do some more.
Y'all gonna have to give me a lot of money. Y'all gonna have to give me a lot of money for that.
Come on.
It's been a long time since a long time since I've not enjoyed a game that much. I really liked that game at the start, and as it went on, it just got more and more padded and more frustrating to the point where I was just like, man, I don't want to talk shit on a game developer because it has some very cool stuff to it, and the music and stuff is interesting, and it's cool they have all that stuff to it. We were super
interested in what was going on. It was just to get to those moments was a lot of stuff happening.
It's the first level, like the grocery store, is just you break the mirrors and it's done.
Yep.
Then everything after that is so fucking padded and ridiculous. It's insane.
You thought the grocery store was like ridiculously long and convoluted, but that was the appetizer.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the second level was anymore. Was the lighthouse? Was the lighthouse?
Yeah, that was the lighthouse guy. That was probably the most straightforward.
That was probably the most fun too in the whole game, if I'm being honest. That was probably the most fun, which is probably because it was the most straightforward. But even that had that part where you had to run around in the pitch black while the boss tries to kill you. You have to shoot flares at shadow clouds that apparently flashlights won't break. Anyway, yeah.
And then we got to the third one was Corn. Yeah. And then number 4 was Sniper Dick.
Sniper Dick, yes. Yeah, Sniper Wolf's estranged brother.
We're probably done with that for at least a while. Yeah. Maybe once we've had some time away from it, we'll be like,
but it ain't
all right, we'll give it another shot. But
there are so many games to play. There is not a reason that I should be having to suffer through a video game for the channel. There are so many games that we could play. This is the first time
I've ever felt sorry for you playing a game.
Yeah, it's the first time I have felt sorry for me playing because I'm just miserable. I was so miserable. I was just not having fun anymore. Like it at a certain point, it hit a point where it's like, this is really cool, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, and I'm getting frustrated at parts, but it's like, it's a horror game, so of course you're going to get frustrated. But then it just eventually it took this the scale tipped to a point where it was like the cool stuff and the frustration. It started out cool stuff, little frustration. Then it balanced out, and then the frustration took over, and the cool stuff was way up here, and it's like very few and far between, and it was just like, no thanks. A cool game that I have been playing that I have really enjoyed has been Ravenous Devils.
Yeah, we did a hands-on for that.
That just came out. That hands-on came out today at noon, I believe. I scheduled that for today. That game is awesome if you like Sweeney Todd or management. If you like management sims or Sweeney Todd or both, play that game. It's like $5. It's great. It's wonderful. It's literally you literally play as a tailor and his wife, not a barber and his wife, and she was beautiful. You play as a tailor and his wife, and they buy the Sweeney Todd building with the chute and everything still installed.
Yeah, they literally talk about
the room with the sky glass. They literally talk about it being it was owned by an infamous barber, and you take it and you basically do the thing he did to get meat, and then you take their clothes and you resell their clothes, and then people come in for sizings, and then you go.
Oh, I'll give you a size. All right.
Throw them down the hatch, and then your wife is down below, and she's just power walking around like a hot lady, just looking all cute with her chopping people's legs off with a hacksaw, and you're like,
right under her chin.
Yeah, she's got the Mrs. Lovitz thing going on, but that game is quite good. I've really been enjoying it. So a lot of crazy good indie games for not a lot lately. It's like, oh yeah, $5 that, and Vampire Survivors is like, cool, more please give me.
Yeah, I get random text messages. I'm like, oh man, I've been playing this game, and I'm like, what is it? You're like, it's this. I'm like, that's a weird game, and he's just like, yeah, but it's awesome. I'm like, oh, cool, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you can only play so many third-person stealth games with a bow in it before you're like, wow, I found this $5 game. It's cool as shit. Yeah. It's like Sucker for Love. We played a horror visual novel, and then we played Cooking
another
Companions, and it was also very good. Yeah, I feel like we need to. This is kind of just, I guess, us discussing this out in the open. I feel like we need to find something that is not horror and play for a little while, because
Sure.
I feel like we have kind of heavy-handed on the front loading on horror lately, even including bug snacks at times.
Oh yeah, that can be very horrifying of a game.
Like we need to find.
It has a cutesy wrapper, but boy, the insides are kind of.
So we need to find something like a little more chill. Like I still think the Metal Gear idea is interesting, but I just don't know how we would do that.
I mean, I think didn't you say you have them all on PC?
If I don't have them all on East, well, so I have Metal Gear Solid 1 on PC, and I have Metal Gear Solid 5 on PC, and I have Ground Zeroes on maybe PC and Xbox, and I have 5 on Xbox. But 2, 3, and Peace Walker are, I think, only available on Xbox through backwards compatibility, and they're not on any PC stuff, so that would be sent through Discord, which is still feasible.
Not as good, though.
But it wouldn't be as large of a display, so yeah, there is that for you.
But yeah, the reason why I know some MMOs, so like I'm not completely blank on it, but it is one of those things where I'm like,
oh man, if y'all are watching the video version, there was like 3 seconds of his camera frozen that was just so good. You were literally like, that's incredible. You were like, anyway, so like it's not quite as good. I was just like, did he die? Like I panicked, like, oh, what broke?
Yeah, I had a weird thing where it happened because for you started going stop motion, but I guess it was on my end that it was all happening.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I think playing through the Metal Gear games would be cool. It's just a matter of figuring out how we can do that.
Yeah, because you were literally talking about something where like one character made like a weird noise to call another character, and I was like, that's a lie. You're fucking with me.
That's true. That's from Metal Gear Solid 3, baby. It is absolutely true.
He makes a weird like, what is it, like literally like just like an ocelot screech?
Ocelot literally goes, and they all show up. I'm not kidding you. Here, give me a second. I'll pull up the audio. Y'all think I'm joking? I'm not kidding.
Because you were talking about that. I'm like, there's no way that happened. I do not believe you. Because I would have remembered that. Because I played Metal Gear Solid 3, but I don't think I ever beat it. So I probably just didn't get to that part. Because when it came out, I was just not in for that kind of survival gameplay.
Here, y'all listen to this shit. Ready? I'm going to play this Ocelot meow for y'all. Here it is. This is what Ocelot does in Metal Gear Solid 3 to call his unit. And they all show up out of the woodwork. And he makes this dumb sound that is so amazing.
Not hearing anything.
You didn't hear it? No one heard it?
No. I didn't hear a single thing.
I don't believe it.
I heard nothing. I'm telling you, I didn't hear shit. It may have come out on your audio. I didn't hear a goddamn thing.
Did you hear it that time?
A little.
Whoever's listening to the podcast, because I see it registering on my mic, they're gonna be like, "We fucking hear the cat! Stop with the cat!" I'm gonna be like, "Sorry about that."
But yeah. But I was a little like, you're full of shit. There's no way that they would do that.
No, it's true. Which
and
makes
then you showed me. I'm like, God damn it, Metal Gear Solid is weird.
Yeah, it makes me. I mean, again, another thing is because it's a game that I haven't played yet. Is I have Death Stranding Definitive Edition. Like I have the big version, and I want to play through that game. And I think the way to do that is probably going to be do the story missions on episodes, and then the filler stuff I could stream or play off camera.
Because you want to talk about a game that I am completely in the dark on. I basically know nothing about, because I've seen trailers. I still don't know what it's about. It's Death Stranding. Dude, and nothing.
It is.
Like I look at that and I go, I don't know what I'm fucking looking at.
Imagine
that man has a baby in his chest, and there's like time rain or some other bullshit.
Imagine
and then there's like monsters from the sky for some reason.
Imagine if Kojima made a mailman game.
He did make a mailman game. I'm having to imagine it. He did the thing.
I get that, but like So you're a mailman who the rain can age you and the packages that you have. So you have to wear a special suit so you don't die, but it'll damage your packages, and you can carry spray on you to repair the packages, the stuff.
As you do,
Well, yeah.
Reverse time spray.
I'm going to say this. If you didn't have that, the game would be unplayable. There are spots where it's very heavy rain, and if you don't have the spray to just, it only you spray it on the packages. It's package repair spray.
Kojima's tendency to over-explain shit, I feel like the explanation of his weird time spray is dumb. It's just like, we're doing the anti-ionization particles of these quark crystals.
I swear to God, they break it all down. It's all explained. They go to great lengths.
You can explain it all you want. It doesn't make it make sense.
I don't get how Ocelot goes, but it's still dumb and awesome. So like whatever.
I don't think they actually try to explain that. I think it's something he does and it happens.
Sure, yeah, okay.
But a lot of times with Metal Gear Solid, they just go nano machines. We're like, okay, whatever.
Well, maybe that's what it is in this too. I don't know. I hadn't played the game enough yet, but I just know that there are things that look invisible until they get close enough to you, but only people with a disease called dooms can see the things, and they're literally things that died that are dangling from heaven by their umbilical cords, and they will beat the shit out of you and take your packages and choke you out and try to murder you. And if they murder you because you're a person who can see them because you have dooms, you don't die. You die, and you cause a nuclear explosion wherever you died, because that's what the Death Stranding is. Anybody who dies now, if you don't incinerate them, anybody who dies becomes a bomb. And so you, who can die forever and continually come back to life because you have this disease, if you die, it causes a big.
The less I understand about what you're saying. It causes
like a time.
It's ridiculous.
You know how like in Terminator when he shows up, it goes and there's like a ball missing where he was. You do that when you die. Wherever you died, there's just a big hole there now, and everything is gone in that one spot. And so they have to burn bodies, because if they don't, then they all turn into nuclear bombs and blow up entire cities.
Because the time bombs, of course.
I don't know, man. That's why I want to play the game, because I've not played enough of it to know what the fuck is going down, and I want to know.
I kind of want to do it too, but at the same time, the whole time I'm gonna be this doesn't make any fucking sense. It's stupid.
Okay, well, it's Kojima, so if you're not on board for Kojima, then don't poke Kojima if you don't want the Kojima, because he's gonna go full Kojima.
I'm sure.
And I want to see the full Kojima. It's like Nicolas Cage. You don't hire Nicolas Cage and then refrain them and hold them back. Like you don't, or restrain. I'm sorry. You don't.
Actually, you do, because that's what won him his goddamn Academy Award.
No. I want more Wally's Wonder World, or whatever the fuck that is.
That movie is not great. I don't care what anyone says. That movie's fine.
I have not seen it yet, but I want to see it. It's on the list of things to watch, and everybody says it's amazing, and it sounds awesome. So I will watch it.
And I came out of it with a big meh.
You are the only person I know that has that opinion.
I'm sure I am. I'm just like, it's fine for what it is. It's fine.
Sure.
But there's just
I'm also hearing that he went. I'm also hearing that he went full blown in that new movie of like the massive weight of talent or whatever it is, and apparently that is also incredible. So,
was it? I think it's Willy's Wonderland or whatever. He is some of the most subdued Nicolas Cage has ever been. So if you want Crazy Nick Cage, wrong movie.
You're the only person who said that. Like I said, so I don't know.
Most of the time he's drinking soda and playing pinball. That's what he does in the movie.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I can't pass judgment until I watch it.
He plays pinball and punches a plushie. Wow.
Sounds awesome. Sounds great. I want to watch that movie. It sounds really good.
Whatever.
I've actually heard
this fucking argument.
Good. You'll lose.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, no, it's going to be this and that. I'm like, no, because I'm literally telling you what he does. And it's not even that crazy.
Anyway, I've heard
he is probably the least emotive person in that movie.
I have heard that Pig is also an incredible movie.
I haven't watched it. I watched the trailer. I'm like, not touching that one.
Apparently, it is literally like John Wick and Taken, but about a truffle pig.
Yeah. Well, it's also.
And I think he said it in Ask Me Anything. I think he said it in Ask Me Anything that it's like one of the movies he's most proud of.
Yeah. And like everyone loved the movie Mandy, That movie fucking sucks.
Dude, everybody loves Mandy and everybody loves Mom and Pop or whatever, Mom and Dad or whatever it's called.
Yeah. That Mandy, that will be the hill I die on when it comes to movies. If you think Mandy's good, you have the wrong opinion.
You are again in the minority as far as
Dude,
Mandy
I could go 45 minutes on why Mandy's terrible.
I don't need you to. I'm just telling you that you're in the minority.
I'm great. This is the minority I love to be in. Because that was one of those things that drew me to Mandy, because everyone was raving about it. Yeah. And I watched it. I'm like, why do people like this movie? The character that the movie is named after is a nothing character who does nothing except talk about planets like she's 5.
Sure.
And then we have Nicolas Cage, who basically doesn't really do much until the last 25 minutes of the movie, and then that's when it goes balls ass crazy. But then that's so little of a 2-hour movie.
What was the name of that movie where there was a woman in a cabin and her husband, and there were people outside the cabin who wanted to get in, and they kill the woman, and then she comes back, and it was like a euphemism for the earth or something?
Oh, that was Mother.
That movie fucking sucked.
That was literally about us killing the earth, basically.
That movie fucking sucks. You want to talk about a movie that sucks? That movie sucks. Because here's the thing. I'm all for show don't tell, but they didn't show. They just gave me a fucking obtuse metaphor.
Sure.
And then the director, after the movie came out, was like, by the way, this is a metaphor for us fucking the earth. We are raping it of all of its natural ingredients. You're like, well, I wish you'd have fucking put that as a thing at the end. You could put a blank black, just put a blank black panel and say, this was a metaphor of us raping the earth. And then leave it at that. And then just say, Mother. And it'd be fine. Yeah. But I didn't get any of that from that. I was just
a lot of people like those in a lot of different movies. It was like, hey, this is the message of the movie, just so you know.
Yeah, I was just I literally watched that movie and was just like, what the fuck did I just watch for 3 hours? What the fuck is this movie? It's way too long for literally. It feels like nothing happens in that movie except for a woman gets abused by God, and then the people show up and also are mean to her, and it's just.
Yeah, because we're mean to the earth. Yeah, obviously.
We're also mean to each other, but I don't have to watch that. So, actually, it's getting further and further where I do have to actually watch it every day. It's kind of hard to look away at this point because it's fucking.
Okay. But that being said, there's a roundabout way for me to say I'm okay with Kojima. I'm just saying there's going to be plenty of parts where I'm going, what?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Happening? No, totally. And that's expected. I'm just saying. If you're like, oh, this is all sensible, you're on the wrong ride.
No.
Yeah.
You need some medication.
Yeah. Correct. If you're like, this makes perfect sense to me, then cool, whatever, man. There's a dude I think it's Guillermo del Toro's character. His name is Deadman or something like that, and his entire body is made from cadaver parts because they had to build him out of. He's basically Frankenstein's monster, apparently, but he doesn't look like it. But apparently he is. He looks like Guillermo del Toro.
That's fine. I like Guillermo del Toro.
I do too, but it's not his voice.
What?
It's his facial capture and his body capture, but they use someone else's voice.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, so you have and if he did facial capture and they have his, obviously he did the goddamn lines.
His entire body, my man. It's full body Guillermo.
Whatever.
But then he has a different voice. It sounds very much kind of like this.
Why would they just have
Sam, it's so good to see you. I have no idea. I don't know.
I feel like he was just I want to know what that conversation was like. Guillermo del Toro gets done with his 8-hour recording session. He's just like, oh cool, so we got everything. So how'd my voice sound? And they go, yeah, we're not using that. He's like, what?
Well, it's just okay, so there's literally an Easter egg. It's an Easter egg secret faction you can find in the very first map, up on this cliff, if you get all the way up here, is this little house. Jeff Keighley lives in that house. And it's actually Jeff Keighley's face, and it's actually Jeff Keighley's voice, and he is
his voice is okay.
And he is an avid collector of Hideo Kojima's Luden's, the Kojima Productions mascot. He's called Luden's fan because that's the name of the mascot, and he just collects Luden's memorabilia. So you'll get missions to bring him action figures and stuff all the time. It's insane. So when you walk up to the house, there's like giant Luden's holograms outside, like cheering you on while you run up. That's all I've like I said. I've been in the first couple zones, not very far, but seeing stuff like that has made me go, "What else you got in there?" Plus, they added in whole new quest chains and stuff that are like Metal Gear themed in the new version of the game.
Yeah,
like they literally did a whole trailer that looks like that, and it's just like, I want to know where this goes.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing through that stuff. I just I don't know if we do Metal Gear Solid in the lead up to Death Stranding or do Death Stranding first, and then go, hey, that was weird. Let's go see other weird shit that Kojima has done.
Correct. Yeah. Do we do the one that's a standalone, or do we do the one that do we start the long trek, as it were? You know.
But just. Yeah,
here's the thing. I haven't played those games.
All this was inspired by me calling bullshit on a ridiculous thing from Metal Gear Solid game.
Yes. It's true, though. That is exactly what it was from.
Because you were like, you really don't know anything about Metal Gear Solid. We should totally play through these things.
Yes. And then it'll be me going, and this is this. And then there'll be some things that I go, I don't remember. Because there's a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean,
just saying.
Yeah, those are some very long movies that we'll have to play through.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of conversations to be had in that game, and the conversations are all amazing. I don't think there's a single conversation in that game that you're like, I didn't need to hear that. Like, there's just everybody is everybody is drinking the Kool-Aid. Everybody is giving 120%. Like, even the guy who, when you are Solid Snake, when you're Big Boss in Metal Gear Solid 3 and you're inside a cardboard box masturbating and you call your tech guy and he's like, Snake, what are you doing? Oh, Snake, what are you doing? He's like, I'm in the box. And he's like, I don't know. You need to join me in the box, and then you can know what that means to be in the box. And he's like, man, I don't even want to know what that means. Leave me alone, Snake. And he's like, hangs up on you. or like the really dumb conversation about bioluminescent mushrooms, where like he's like,
where you charge your batteries about eating mushrooms.
He's like, so you're saying that if I eat those, it'll charge my batteries? And paramedic's like, that is not how that works. Like, what
That's
do you
know,
Snake? That is not what I'm saying. And then you eat them, and it charges your batteries, and then you call her back again after that, and you're like, paramedic, I ate those mushrooms, and it charged my batteries. And she's like, that's great, Snake. Wait, what? And then she she's like, hold on a second, and she like goes off to the other side of the room to talk to the tech guy, and it's like, did you hear this? What the hell is he talking about? He said he ate the mushrooms that charges batteries. That does not work that way. What do I tell him? I mean, tell him, okay, great. Like, sure, tell him what he wants to hear. If it worked, then it worked. Yeah, maybe it's a placebo. I don't know.
That it operates on belief.
So then she's like, yeah, Snake, it turns out that if you eat bioluminescent mushrooms, it will charge your batteries. And he goes, great. And that's the conversation.
Yeah, it turns out Snake's an orc from Warhammer. You know, Jesus Christ.
It's just so good.
That's actually what it's been all along. Nanomachines don't actually exist. It's just if you believe hard enough, that's how it works.
If you believe. Okay, so that's okay. Well, while we're on this discussion, let's talk about Fortune, who it was a tech thing in Metal Gear 2, remember? And then she was like, her whole life she believed she had powers where she could redirect bullets, and that luck was just so powerful that she just couldn't be harmed on the battlefield. And then Ocelot's like, it's actually a thing that redirects with electromagnetic fields. And then she's like, no, that's not true, I have powers. He's like, no, you don't. Blam. Ha, I shot you, see, stupid dummy. And then like she like walks out there and actually does the thing without the thing on her, and you're like, she believed enough and it worked. It's like, Okay, well, there's evidence that, yes, apparently belief is more powerful than technology in Metal Gear.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing Lost in Random a lot lately.
Yes, you have, and I'm afraid to play that game because I'm afraid of how long it's going to be.
I don't know. I'm at the third kingdom, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but stuff gets wild.
I mean, that's cool.
Like the more you progress through, you start. It's like, man, this stuff's getting weird, but it's cool.
Right.
And like every environment's different, so because every kingdom's got its own little like backstory and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what the rest of the stuff looks like, but I don't actually know how long the game is. I'm guessing it depends on if you try to do like all the side quests and shit like that, which are a thing. Or if you just burn through the main story, you could probably beat it, probably 8 to 10 hours, I would guess, but I could be wrong. Because that stuff, a lot of that stuff usually has a pretty standard length of game. But for me, as long as I'm having fun and as long as the stuff that it continues to show me is interesting, I don't really care how long a game goes.
As long as you're not padding it out, or if you're padding it out with things that are interesting and are not just. Yeah. If your character is acknowledging how dumb your shit is that you're doing to them,
that doesn't excuse it.
It doesn't excuse you doing dumb shit. It is like game design 103. It's not quite the basics, but it's definitely pretty close. I'm
excited to play. Trick to Yumi comes out tomorrow?
Believe so. We'll do a hands-on of that when it comes out because I've been very excited about that game. I've been anticipating that one during this lull of games. Like, oh, can't wait to play the weird samurai game. Looks awesome.
Yeah. But then I guess I'll probably be playing some Destiny 2 as well this coming week, or not. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I could just be like, nah, it's not worth it. Because to be honest, Destiny 2 is one of those games like I go in and out of. For it's like sometimes I want to play it, and other times I'm like, yeah, I don't want to play.
So apparently, the Heir Apparent is like one of the best exotics for Titans. Because you can get the ice stuff. You can get the Icefall mantle that gives you a shield, and then you can get the shield on that gun and put those together, and so you're just walking through with a full spinning minigun going, I don't take damage, which sounds awesome. But I wanted it because again, it's one of the few guns in the game I don't have. So
that's true.
Oh, also there is the legendary SMG you get from doing the quest chain is super good.
Yeah.
It getting kills gives you your class energy back.
Oh, that's good.
Super good. You're just like rift, rift, rift. Yeah, that's great. I've really been enjoying that. I almost want to put the stag helmet on.
Oh, so you can just keep doing all that stuff.
I'm just getting rift energy constantly. I'm just like, even faster rifts. Let's go, baby.
I will never die.
Either that or Boots of the Assembler. So I'm just like, I'm in a rift. Here's a healing thing. Go chase my friends down, magic boots. Yeah, it's fun.
I can create healing bots with my magic feet. And everyone's like, what?
Yeah, what the fuck did you just say to me? Don't worry about it. There's magic boot pants. Go do it. Let's have you played anything? Is there anything else you need to talk about playing?
That's all I got.
Let's do we're gonna stop here for a break. And we'll come right back and we'll talk about the news. And we're back.
What's going on in the world of gaming this week?
Well, what if I told you about some NFT stuff?
Oh, I wouldn't want to hear about it.
Well, I'm sorry, but apparently every story I have is going to be linked to it in some way.
Boy.
Well,
I'm guessing one of these is going to be about bat cowls.
No, I wasn't going to talk about that because that's dumb. But we can talk about it because it's stupid.
You talking about NFTs? I assumed that was going to be one of the ones you really want to talk about.
We can talk about it. So apparently they're selling.
You don't have to.
No, you mentioned it. Now we've got to talk about it. So they're selling these dumb They're selling these dumb bat cowl NFTs, and they say that if you buy one, that you can get a custom Snapchat filter of your cowl, and it puts you in a digital neighborhood that allows you to get another purchase bat of an NFT later that allows you to actually vote on what actually gets changed in the comic books. And two things are going to come from this. One, either people are going to make some really shitty choices based on picking what they have in their collection of NFTs, or 2, DC is going to take your money and say, oh yeah, we listened, and they're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do anyway. Yeah, correct. And that's the business with that. However, what I was going to say is that apparently, according to this is the thing. I don't know if we talk about the Wall Street Journal, but Wall Street Journal basically said that NFT sales are in that market is dead. From September to now, the sales per day have gone down 92%.
Oof.
And the amount of active wallets since November has gone down 88%. So, does not sound like a thing that Square Enix needs to be getting into, but we'll get into that in a moment.
I don't know. Maybe they're just going to use their last breath to try to breathe life into that fire.
God, I don't know, man. Because like the one big game that was actually,
we could have all the money.
The one game that was doing well with NFTs, like had like, was it $630 million stolen from them? So they're not doing great anymore.
Yeah,
that's rough. So Reggie Fils-Aimé of Nintendo fame, his body is ready. Has been doing a book tour because he's got a memoir out or whatever. Kind of curious. Kind of curious to read it. From the
Bronx to the board of Nintendo or something like that.
Kind of curious to read it, but also kind of not because it's a book. I don't have time to play everything.
You can wait for the audiobook to come out, and it'll probably be him reading it.
It's probably him reading it, which I actually would be way more into. I could like really run strikes in Destiny and hear him be like, "My body is ready." Yeah. Anyway,
that was the thing I said.
Yeah. I'm gonna kick your ass. My body is ready. Anyway, he talks about kicking asses a lot while he was at Nintendo. That was a lot of talk about that on stage. It's a lot more. Right. He's the most ass kickingest talk about a person in video games. Like Duke Nukem looks at him and goes, "Hey, calm down. You're kicking too many asses."
Was honest. That's what he was. He was honest on stage. He wasn't.
Yes. No. Absolutely.
He would do his smile and fake laugh, but he was still like, "Hey, I've been probably playing this for like a year."
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, totally. He's like, "Hey, I'll put whatever," but that's why what I'm about to tell you hurts me even more.
Oh boy.
Reggie wants to monetize blockchain in video games.
Great.
Reggie wants to be able to sell you his island that he built in Animal Crossing for real money on the blockchain. I'm kind of glad based off that he's not at Nintendo anymore.
I feel like Nintendo makes some weird decisions. I don't know if they'd ever do that.
Apparently, Wii Sports being a pack-in was because he fought Satoru Iwata and Shigeru Miyamoto on that. And also, the 3DS being as expensive as it was, he said there's no way it can be that expensive. It's going to cause us problems. And they said, no, we're going to charge that much. And he said it should be $50 cheaper. And they eventually did that price cut and saved that console because of that. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of stuff that has happened was because he literally did that. So I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's also like, maybe he could have done something that would have been terrifying. But he basically said, I play some games for 5, 10, 100, 300 hours. What I should be able to do is when I'm done playing that game, I should be able to sell off all my assets that I've created in game by making my island. I should be able to sell that to someone. What is the fucking point of playing Animal Crossing if you buy someone else's prefab island?
I don't know, to have it and not have to do that. Do you know how many people would love to do those sort of things and not have to do the work? I mean, come on.
Don't buy Animal Crossing, you fucking goblin. What are you doing? That's the whole point of Animal Crossing, is to make your town yours.
Yeah, or some people would want to see it as a status symbol. I mean, that's literally a thing for people. Is they love to have that e-peen be as big as possible so people look at it.
Me too, but I built it myself. I didn't buy someone else's e-peen and say it was mine.
Well, then that means you have more time than money. Some people have more money than time.
Maybe I just have a bigger penis. Got him.
Sure. Anyway. That's the thing you could probably also say to that person. Probably. But I think for what it is, it's like, I mean, we again, there have been real money auction houses, things like that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The game companies will always take a ridiculous cut of the money that you think you're selling something for.
Yes.
Because I think when the Real Money Auction House came out, it was like Blizzard was taking
you got
like
40%. I think you got 40%, I think.
Yeah, you didn't get as much as you thought you were going to get for your legendary item you sold for $1,500. You get about, 500 of that maybe. And so when game companies talk about doing that, it's great for them. It would be great for them to be able to monetize that stuff. It'd be bad for everyone else. I'm going to scream this from the mountaintops for as long as possible. They're not doing this for you.
Right.
Stop. Don't even think that they are.
The thing that kills me about video games is that every single one of them is in an enclosed market. They're all in a closed ecosystem. You don't need the blockchain for something like that. Ubisoft has their own ecosystem. EA has their own ecosystem. Xbox has its own ecosystem. PlayStation has its own ecosystem. And then the games in those have their own subset. You don't need that.
Well, again, they want as many revenue streams as possible. And the blockchain is just another one that they could use. And it is what it is. They want people to be able to like, oh, I bought this, someone built me an island Animal Crossing, or, someone made this badass Super Smash Brothers statue, or, I want their spirit that they have for my Super Smash Brothers. I'm going to buy that with Bitcoin. All right, got my thing. And that's generally what it is. It's just they want people to have.
Welcome back.
We're back after some technical difficulties.
Yes. We were talking about
blockchain and Square Enix and how we don't want it to be a thing.
We're talking about Reggie's stuff. And that whole
wanting to have
that whole thing is gone out of my mind after the technical difficulties. So
we'll move on to the next one.
What I said of that has been said, and that is what it is. If you like Star Wars, because today is, as of recording, is May the 4th.
May the 4th sale is today.
That's pretty much on sale everywhere. So go look at that. In regards to that, Fortnite is having a Star Wars celebration from the 3rd to the 17th.
Yeah, aren't they like you can pick up lightsabers and
you can use everybody's. Yeah, a lot of the main characters' lightsabers and stuff are available. They're pretty fun because you can do like force jumps and like do like flips and like you can reflect bullets and stuff. They are quite fun. Also, they're putting in a quest chain you can do called Stormtrooper Training. I guess is going to be like a dumb little funny quest chain where it's like hijack a land speeder and it's like get in a car. You're like, okay.
Miss a bunch of shots.
Yeah, probably shoot near someone.
Yeah. I kind of hope it is. It's like shoot 30 bullets near a person's feet.
Right. Activision has announced Modern Warfare 2 with Roman numeral 2, not with the letter 2, not with the numeric 2, because that already exists.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I didn't stop him with Modern Warfare.
Well, this is Modern Warfare. That's what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm saying like they're like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna Roman numeral 2 because Modern Warfare 2 already exists. I'm like, yeah, but so did Modern Warfare. Where do we draw the line here, guys?
Right. No, I get it. Also, Activision shareholders have approved the purchase from Microsoft. It was like 98% of all shareholders were like, yeah, do the sale. So now it is in the FTC's hands on that deal.
Sure. Do you think that they're using the Roman numeral truth so they can just reuse assets from World War II that just flip it over to an M?
I don't know. It actually looks more. It actually looks more like the 9 Inch Nails logo.
I've seen that joke around.
It's very true. It's very true. In other Activision news, Warcraft is announcing their own Clash Royale game with PvP and it looks like PvE as well.
Yeah, they actually have like dungeons and raids. And it's just like,
it is literally Clash Royale though. Like even because they did 2 trailers. One of them is like has like a weird Ballroom Blitz cover playing over the characters, and then the other one is just like cinematic stuff that is just like making every character look like they are a Clash Royale character.
as someone who's never played Clash Royale.
Yeah, but you've seen the ads. You know wherever you know what I'm talking about. You know what kind of ad I'm talking about, where it's like, oh, it's Hog Rider, and it's all about the Hog Rider, or like whatever.
Actually, I haven't seen that ad.
Okay, but this one's just about Hogger.
Sure.
So, but it's called Arclight Rumble, and it might be all right. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much they monetize it into the fucking ground.
Yeah, I think they're doing signups for the beta soon.
Yeah.
So I'll probably when it comes out, I'll probably play it, and then if it's not ridiculously monetized, I'll be like, hey, we should play some of this together.
Sure.
Because the online co-op was what kind of drew me in. I was like, that could be fun with people, just to like, kind of have like your people and like everyone goes and does a dungeon. Or I wonder if the raids would be, like more than like, I don't know how people would be in a raid, be like 4 people or something maybe for that type of game.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know. Did you ever play the Titanfall Clash Royale game they made?
Mm-mm.
That was fun. It was like you literally had like lanes, and you like had to like send your people up the lanes to like try to destroy their towers. But it was like sending in like foot soldiers and BTs, and there was wall running and the whole shebang. It was neat.
I think the closest thing I did to Clash Royale games was
the Star Wars one.
No, the what was it called? Like Minions or whatever. The game that came out
Minion Masters. Minion Masters.
Yeah,
that's a good game. That's a good game. It's fun.
So, no, I haven't really played a lot of those Clash Royale games that came out because they're fine, but they're not something that draws me in too much.
Yeah, I get it. Netflix has shown off a little bit of footage of Sonic Prime. Sonic
in like 13 seconds.
Yeah, it's like 13 seconds. And we know that Sonic is being voiced by Devin Mack, who the portrayal of Sonic sounds like Roger Craig Smith mixed with Jaleel White.
Sure.
So it's like the current video game Sonic mixed with Jaleel White is what it sounds like to me.
Why not have them mixed together? People like this.
Apparently, Sonic is going to have his figure 8 run back, where like his feet are actually a figure 8 from the cartoons.
Yeah.
And also it is going to be 24 episodes in season 1, and it will involve the multiverse, because of course it will.
I mean, why not? Why not just start introducing everything?
Correct. Yeah. Just so.
It's like, hey, we're going to take like 20 years of comic stuff, and we're going to put that in like one season of a show.
Basically. Apparently, talking about streaming services, Halo, the show that literally no one I know likes, is apparently their biggest hit. It's massive.
Yeah, the biggest rating I have seen from people is like 3 out of 5.
Yeah, it's like, it's fine. But like, apparently they gained 6.8 million subs in the last quarter. I'm
sure a bunch of people were subscribing to check it out, and then they were like, okay.
They went up 148% on their revenue in the last quarter.
I bet. There's a lot of name recognition. A lot of people were excited for a live-action Halo series.
Now the question is, how much of that will be retained?
No, I'm guessing probably not a whole lot.
Yeah. I feel like they're jumping the gun going, it's a great deal for us. But it's also like, well, it was at the start, but also like...
What would have been a really cool thing for them to have done is they did the Halo series, and then right as that finished, like a week later, they were putting out like the Knuckles series, so they could kind of get that, at least that 1-2 punch in.
Yeah.
But so I don't even think that has a release date yet.
Say, who knows when that's even going to come out.
So, and I mean, obviously, I liked Knuckles in the movie, so I mean, I assume he's going to be he's a fairly popular character.
Excuse me, I will watch it when it comes to Paramount Plus.
Yeah, isn't that like in a couple weeks?
Yeah. Clippy from Windows. Clippy, you know Clippy?
Yes, I do know Clippy.
Clippy is in Halo Infinite.
What?
The new Battle Pass has an avatar and a gun charm of Clippy in the new Battle Pass.
It doesn't make me... I'm not going to play Halo Infinite for that, but that is cool.
That is neat, but yeah, I'm not going to. Also, people seem to be pretty down on that game, which when it came out, we were all playing the shit out of it. It was so much fun. Yeah. And not having co-op.
If I didn't have other things to play, I would probably be playing it. But there's just so much other stuff that I have also, that's above it right now.
The thing that the entire community is kind of saying, and I kind of agree, is like you made the first season take 6 months, and we have 2 maps to show for it. I'm not saying crunch, But I am saying that you're paying $69 billion for Activision, so maybe just hire some more people to make more than 2 maps in 6 months. Yeah. That seems like not a lot. That's rough.
And I also know that a lot goes into map building.
Yes, no, correct. I'm not saying it doesn't, but also I know that there are people who can make a map in Forge in 4 hours. So,
or just put Forge back in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a hard sell. My heart goes out to the devs. I think that game is really cool, but I feel like they are somehow having a losing battle with a winning game, and it's very strange.
Yeah, like the multiplayer I did play, I had fun. It's still Halo. Mm-hmm. I still like it. But again, you're not a whole lot new is happening in that game, so it's kind of like I could do that, or I could do this other thing that's newer and has more things for me to earn. Right. And
like if I'm gonna play that kind of deathmatch, I could just do that in Destiny and get superpowers and also level a character while I'm doing it. It's like maybe I'll just do that, or I can just go play Warzone. Like, there's just so many other options that are like giving me variety. So
not wrong.
Speaking of another online service thing that seems to not be learning its lessons, Overwatch 2 is getting its shit kicked in right now.
I've heard people that are like, "Oh, I'm loving this Overwatch 2 thing," and I see other people that are like, "Man, this is like Overwatch 1.1."
Yeah, apparently the grand census on the internet is they made Overwatch a 5-man game, and everyone is going, it feels like if we had one more person, we could really make a push here. But they just cut a person to make it new.
The 2 tanks would have been pretty cool to help push this objective, but thank God we have this one, hamster.
And people are talking about how it is literally 5 to 10 minute queues for certain roles right now in the beta.
I'm sure DPS is like 10 to 15 minutes probably on average, I would guess. God. And I think they also have like a ticket system where you can like get like a fast pass type thing, and that doesn't work either.
Well, they had that for Overwatch 1. I don't know if it's in 2 or not, but it was like,
I think it's in the beta as well.
It was like, play a couple matches as a healer and you can get your free DPS match. It's like you like put your karma in to get your stuff. Yeah.
And it's like the quote unquote new maps are basically the maps that you played at night or played in day.
Right.
It's just like, okay. Sure.
Yeah. I feel like everybody is like, I feel like everybody's taking it's a pandemic to the extreme. It's like, okay, yes, it is, but also you guys like Bungie has proved
Overwatch 2 was announced right before the pandemic was a thing.
Correct. And also Bungie has proved that you can do some crazy shit remotely.
Yeah.
Bungie literally pulls that whole thing out from underneath everybody, that they're like, this is the crutch they prop up on, where they're like, I can't do this because pandemic. And then Bungie's like, that's fucking hilarious, dog. What are you talking
about? Or, Call of Duty, or, Fortnite's been putting out a ton of stuff, even with the pandemic going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are plenty of great experiences that have been made with the pandemic.
Tiny Tina's literally gives you a message that says, hey, thanks for playing this. It's not our normal Borderlands game, but we made it during the pandemic. We hope it's fun. It's way shorter than a normal Borderlands game, but it also plays way more fun than those games.
It's a lot funner.
It's true.
So yeah, the pandemic, like that. Of course, I'm not going to fault anyone for necessarily the pandemic stuff. It's affected everybody.
No, yes, absolutely.
But I'm not. But after a certain point, you kind of just be like, okay, sure.
Yes.
This isn't just. You could say the pandemic was a factor, but that's not the only factor.
Right. Yeah. It's also the fact that people are stealing breast milk at your place. It's probably a little more important than the pandemic. Right.
It probably doesn't help that a lot of the directors and a lot of the leaders are either getting fired, arrested, or unfortunately promoted.
It's true.
Or getting a payday. Bobby Kotick.
It's true.
I'm just so tired of all of it. I really am. It's exhausting.
Same, and they want you to get fatigued, so you stop talking about it, and that's why we have to keep talking about it.
100%.
Remember when they announced that Sands of Time remake and it looked awful?
Yes, I do.
Well, and they have taken it away from the developers that were working on it and gave it back to the people who made that series in the first place. So,
and this thing's going to be, I don't even know if it's going to, I hope this isn't a Duke Nukem Forever situation.
It's going to hang out with Beyond Good and Evil 2 and Skull and Bones. Like, it's crazy to think about how many millions of dollars Ubisoft is spending on keeping things afloat instead of just killing them off. It's kind of crazy.
You look, man, and on the one hand, I get that. On the other hand, I'm kind of glad they're doing that because those are all things that I'm interested in.
I get it, but like, we don't even know what Skull and Bones is at this point. Like, is it going to be like a Sid Meier's Pirates thing? Is it going to be like an Assassin's Creed?
I think footage came out like a week ago or something like that someone had shown that was supposed to be from Skull and Bones.
I mean, there was a thing at one point where it was just going to be a ship PV. It was going to be like World of Battleships, but it was like pirate ship stuff. I don't know if it's still going to be that or if it's going to be like an adventure game. I don't know, but we'll see eventually, I guess.
Yeah, like Skull and Bones seemed interesting, and when they first announced it. Beyond Good and Evil 2, I mean, at that point,
trailer was neat, but also the moment they brought in the person and said, you can make this game with us by making assets that we take from your marketplace and we use them, that immediately was like, this is a Ponzi scheme scam pyramid shit, and I hate this.
And now we got the Prince of Persia remake, which, it's great because that game was a very fun game, and I would love an updated version of it.
Sure. It got really weird when it turned out there were two princes and that whole thing. That was weird.
Are you talking about the third one where it's like he has a weird like dark version of him? Like it's like a Shadow Link version of Prince of Persia.
Yes, it was very strange.
That was after his edgelord phase when he was really into emo music.
It was very strange. The last thing that we have, two things. One is very quick and one is not. One of them is Final Fantasy XIV. Yoshi P and the team behind Final Fantasy XIV are saying, hey, you are not going to be spamming "you suck" at people or spamming "nice job" at people sarcastically in PvP matches, because we are going to start flagging that stuff, and it is a reportable offense of abusing people. We want this game to be cool. If you're losing in a snowball, you should at least be giving your all and trying to win. Like, you should not be doing negative and toxic things.
Have you seen PvP players?
I get it, but what they're saying is like, they're like, everything else in this game is super positive, and we're not going to have this be a toxic cesspool. This is not going to happen.
I appreciate that. I really do, because as someone who has done PvP and MMOs, those can be some of the worst kinds of people that you'll meet in online.
And so they basically came out and they're like, they put a list of things, and they're like, if you're doing this stuff, people can report you, so don't be a scumbag. We want this game to be fun. And also, we don't put these things in here so you can be mean to people. We put these in here so you can help your teammates. And if you're flagging someone and saying bad guy, bad guy, bad guy, bad guy to a teammate, they can report you because you suck. And we want you to know that you suck. So it's like, okay, good job, guys.
That's not part of the culture. It's just you being a dick. It's not. So that's not the same thing.
So that's the good Square Enix.
If you want to play PvP with like your friends and trash talk them over Discord or something, that's one thing. Sure. If you're just like a random guy on the internet, being like, man, you're garbage. You should just go kill yourself. I'm gonna rape your mom tonight because you're just so trash at this game.
You'll probably get banned from Valorant for saying those things. We saw that happen recently. That one Twitch streamer was like huge, or YouTuber or whatever, was like huge, million views, whatever. And then he
just went off on a man and just is like, you don't do that.
Told a woman to go back to the kitchen and cook for her husband or something. And this whole thing is like, is that a female? Whatever. It was not good. It was really bad. And then he got banned. So maybe don't do that. Maybe it's a bad thing. And then of course they did the YouTuber "Sorry I Got Caught."
Yeah. Maybe you just realize that it's a video game and you shouldn't do these things.
Yeah, just laugh it off and you'll be a lot happier in life. The other Square Enix
we all have those moments where we just kind of be like, ugh, tired of getting shit on, but you know, it's not excusable.
That's when you slap on the shark sword and you just start chasing them down and slapping them back.
Or my favorite, Bayonet.
Oh my god, Bayonet! I'll literally be lining up sniper shots, just over here having this like epic Metal Gear Solid fight, and I just hear Joe yell "Bayonet," and then I just see the kill feed.
Like, I also had a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
but had a bayonet on the end of it.
Correct.
Yeah, they put it on the gun. I'm going to use it.
Sure, makes sense to me. The other Square Enix story is that the Embracer Group has bought a lot of stuff from them for $300 million.
Everything that's not Final Fantasy, basically.
It is. They have purchased Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal, which will probably be getting renamed. Around 1,100 employees. The IPs include Deus Ex, Thief, Legacy of Kain, Tomb Raider, and the continued sales of over 50 back catalog games. And they're going to use that money, according to the CEO, to invest in the blockchain, which I'm thinking is just a buzzword and it's not actually something they're planning on doing because it's a terrible idea.
I would hope so, but yeah. I would also, who knows? And I want a Sleeping Dogs too.
And Square, yes. So does Annapurna. Annapurna literally was like, someone give us the rights to Sleeping Dogs so we can make a Sleeping Dogs 2, please. We want to make one. And I'm like, yeah, most of your stuff's great, so do that.
I would like a Sleeping Dogs 2, and I would like a better Thief than what we got last time. That game was garbage.
That game was not garbage. It was mediocre.
Yeah.
It wasn't garbage. It was mediocre. It was a perfectly fine game. The nighttime mechanics, the shadow stuff was neat, but everything else in the game was like, bah, and the story was dumb. It was like you fell in a window and then suddenly you have magic powers. Like, whatever, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was Dishonored a month before Dishonored came out or whatever.
They also turned the main character, I can't remember his name, into basically Batman.
Garrett.
Complete with gravel voice.
Totally like this. Yeah, there was a lot of gravel voices in that era though. To be fair. They also said they are keeping Just Cause, Outriders, and Life is Strange. Those are the only things they're keeping. So
I guess those were the ones that were making money according to them. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think that they're just like, everything else can go. It's like,
Outriders is a game I would love to get 2 more people and just run through the game. Well, I haven't seen the end of the game. And it's not playable by yourself.
No, it's not. It's not designed for one person. And also that game, they keep adding expansions, and I think they have another one on the way that you have to buy, like to play through, whatever. And that's fine. But like,
and I'm interested to see where it goes because it was an interesting concept. But by the time I was like getting into it, like everyone else was just like, "Nah, I don't want to play this game anymore."
That's not what it was. If you remember, it was because we all were really into it, and the online was eating people's characters.
Yeah. That's what it was. And
it was literally eating your entire inventory and all of your XP and putting you back at level 1 with none of your guns. And people were like, wow, this is terrible.
And by the time they fixed it, we were all like, we all moved on.
It was also the fact that they came out and said that it's not going to be a live service game, that it was not going to be a game that you level up a character. It was going to be a game that you saw the end of the story and then it was done. And now they keep adding stuff, so I think they should have telegraphed that a little differently than they did, because I was like, well, I guess it's not going to be like a Destiny-like game, so I guess I don't want to play it. And then they were like, well, we keep adding new shit stuff. To it. Yeah, so it's like, well, maybe it was one of those, and you were just lying the whole time. It's kind of like when Activision for 3 years made Bungie be like, Destiny is not an MMO.
Yeah.
It's a loot shooter with a story and everything.
It never was.
The moment they bought themselves out, they're like, it's an MMO. For the love of God, it's an MMO.
Yeah, the thing everyone was screaming at them. They're like, no. A looter shooter is one thing. I have a list of things that are MMO stuff right here, sir. There's so many checks on here. I can't read the words anymore. I put so many check marks.
Weekly lockouts, raids. If you say the word raid and weekly lockout, it's automatically. It's automatically. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. You said raid and weekly lockout. That's it. You're done. Just bag it up. It's an MMO.
I think one of the reasons why they also were trying not to call it MMO is when they put out Destiny 2 and they're like, hey, all your shit's gone. People might have been like, it's an MMO. Why would you do that?
Yeah. But also, technically, every MMO does that. Every expansion, they kind of always do that and blow your shit out with greens and blues, just like that did. So.
Yeah, but you also can still keep your shit. You can go put it in your bank. You know, it doesn't go away.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
When Cataclysm happened in WoW, they didn't go, hey, you're all starting at level 1 again with nothing.
I mean, they kind of did with the level squish, but also not exactly. They didn't exactly take your stuff and throw it into a tower and go,
they didn't have sort of brand new character.
Also, I should have kept all the things in my I should have kept all the things in my inventory, goddammit, because I was carrying those on me. Just saying, if we're gonna get technical about it.
It's true.
Didn't all get blown up. You just have to pick the items you absolutely want.
Yeah. Out of the rubble.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying before you boot up Destiny 2, make sure you have the perfect loadout and then do it.
Yeah. It's true. I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is. But
I still kind of wish that they would just name Destiny 2 Destiny and just be done with it.
And just have that be the name, because
they've already started bringing zones from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 and raids from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. Like, the line has blurred so much now, and the lore has changed so much. Like, there are characters that don't even exist anymore. The only time that Cade exists is when you're doing that one strike when Cade shows up.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, it's also one of those things, like they still talk about Destiny 3 being a thing.
Yeah, but they're like saying it's like 2 years out still, so like.
But I'm saying, like, why even I mean, I guess if maybe, they they're maybe rebuilding it from the engine up.
But again. But also we still don't know what that's going to entail, because if it's going to be like Overwatch and your stuff carries over, and like, because Activision was like, do this, like, maybe, but they can't blow up they've already done it. They can't blow up the tower and take all your shit again. Like, they have to do differently. They could. But if they're going to do all this work to put in like Arc 3.0 and Solar 3.0 in the next 2 seasons and stuff, it would be really crazy to take that and be like, well, you gotta play the new game with that stuff.
Yeah, they put in a lot of work to Destiny 1 too. They blew it all up.
Right, but but that's what I'm saying is, like, it seems crazy to be like, the next 2 seasons we're gonna be reworking these new elements, and it's like, okay, because it's supposed to be like Lightfall and like all these other things. I think Lightfall is supposed to be like the end of the current like Traveler story, and then we're supposed to maybe start something new from there. And if that's the case and we do a free break, then like,
we're going to be people with volcano heads with faces coming out. But also smoke.
They've been selling so much shit in the Eververse that if they took people's Eververse stuff away, they would never recover. People would be so mad. Like, think about all those emotes and shit that you've been getting over the years, and every shader, you now have to get every shader back. They can't.
I do it in Destiny 2.
No way. That sounds okay, but that was a completely different ecosystem back then. I don't think that. I think that the online discourse about that would be not in their favor, because we barely just got back to the point where like shaders don't cost real money to buy back.
Yeah.
Which was the thing that also
because we just got out of the thing where it's just like, shaders are a one-time use, and everyone's just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then you
with your gear system that should not work that way, and they're like, no, that's how this is going to work, and we're not changing it. And then finally they're like, all right, fine, we'll change it, because everyone keeps screaming at us, because every time I get a new piece of gear, I have to go get that shader again, or hope I bought 8,000 of them the first time.
Right. Or if it's one that you got, or if it's one that you only get
inventory slots wasn't any better.
Or the fact that you only get 3 of them, but it takes 5 to dye a set of clothing. You're like, yay! I have 3 of them. I guess my color item will be Dust Mite, because that's what I have 100 of. I have 100 of those. It's fine.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they're finally able to acknowledge that sort of thing, and I hope that the sell of all this stuff results in more cool games coming out and people actually doing something with the licenses instead of just letting it rot somewhere.
I feel like
because it didn't sell 3 million copies day one.
Right. I feel like the order that it's going to work in is, we know that Crystal Dynamics is like, I guess they're technically keeping Marvel afloat. The Avengers game, I would love for them to make another deal to get another Guardians of the Galaxy, because that game rocks. The game is so good. The game was so fun. I'm sick of Marvel shit, and that game was awesome. But like, we know they're working on a new Tomb Raider, which means that they're not pushing Avengers as much, because that game is kind of on life support as it is. Because the next hero is just another Thor. So we have 2 Hawkeyes, 2 Thors. There's 5 billion characters, and you're just picking your reskins.
Is Red Hulk coming out after Mighty Thor?
It'll be She-Hulk. It'll be She-Hulk. It'll be She-Hulk.
Yeah, probably.
Because they keep doing the female and male. So it's Hawkeye, and then what's her name? And then it's Thor. It's Thor, and then like the mighty
Jane Foster, the mighty Thor.
Yeah, the mighty Thor. And then it'll be like Hulk and She-Hulk, and then it'll be like Captain America, and then whatever her name is, the agent.
Captain Carter.
Yeah, that one. It'll be that from some weird multiverse of a what if skin.
And then we'll have Iron Man and Ironheart.
Yeah, correct. You can literally see all this happening, and then we'll have like they apparently did Spider-Man plays like Black Widow, basically. So they already have him, but he's not on our console. So we'll probably get like Daredevil, and it'll be the exact same thing. It's like tonfas and grappling hooks. It's like the exact same character.
I hope that's not how it is, because I really want them to kind of like branch out into the kind of heroes that they're doing for Avengers.
But like that game also is like bigger than every other game that I own.
And yeah, I would play it if it wasn't like 200 gigs put on my hard drive.
It is fucking massive, and it is not that fun. Also, it doesn't run that well. It is not that optimized, and it is massive.
Yeah, I still haven't done the Wakanda stuff. Like,
we didn't finish. I haven't done the Hawkeye stuff. We didn't finish the Hawkeye stuff. Because that last level takes like 6 hours to do, and we just both were just like, I'm hungry. Me too. Okay, well, let's just not do this. And then when I went back to it, you start all the way over, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just I want that to result in good things, and not just be like, hey, we're just you can buy fucking Deus Ex NFTs.
Yes. I don't want Deus Ex NFTs. I feel like we're going to get the Tomb Raider they're already working on, and then we're going to get a bunch of like remasters to like test the waters, like because they have the stuff. We'll get remasters or re-releases of games to see where the market is on stuff. Like, oh, release the Deus Ex, release the Legacy of Kain's, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, well now we can see that this is where it is, so now we need to put money into that IP. Like, I feel like they'll do that. Well, like the first one was interesting. I think everyone after that kind of sucked.
I thought 2 was fine, but yeah, I think the first one was probably the best one.
Yeah, and then they did that multiplayer one where they like took the title off of it, and then they did the same thing. They did the same thing with Sleeping Dogs. They made Triad Wars.
Oh yeah,
it was literally a Sleeping Dogs. It was a Sleeping Dogs spiritual successor that was a multiplayer only game that nobody played.
Yeah,
it didn't make it out of like alpha.
Because we wanted Sleeping Dogs. We didn't want whatever that was.
We wanted the Ip Man cop game. We did not. We wanted to be able to be like, I'm going to stick your head in an air conditioner. Like, I'm going to beat you with a fish. Like, we didn't want, and then do shitty Steely Dan karaoke. We didn't want whatever you were offering. It was not the same.
Yeah. That was one of those things, like the weird disconnect in some of the parts of that game where it's like, so I can shove this man into an air conditioner head first, but if I shoot this person, that's a bad thing? Or, I'm in a police chase and I hit a fire hydrant and suddenly I'm like losing an entire like level of like police rep. I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Or, man who know he pork pie is never home, man.
Which, by the way, when I was in New York, we went to a place that had pork buns. I'm like, I have to have a pork bun. She's just like, why? I'm like, because if I don't have a pork bun, I'm not a whole man. And she's like, you are a crazy person.
Look, those are the rules. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. So whenever I see people making pork buns, I have to buy one. It's just how it works. It's just the rules.
As it turns out, not a big fan of pork buns, but she is. My partner loves pork buns. Them? Yeah. I am not a fan, no.
Well, at least you had one, so now you get to be whole man.
I can be whole man.
I will eat them because the outside is soft and spongy and sweaty, and the inside is filled with tasties, and I like it.
Sure.
It's like a weird sweaty volleyball you eat.
It's horrible, gross,
but it's delicious. It's a delicious sweaty volleyball.
No, just imagine going up to the cart like, hey, go those sweaty volleyballs. Just want to dig my teeth into it.
I think you're asking for something else when you say plural. I think it's going to be sweaty volleyballs.
No, I'll just get multiple pork buns, idiot.
Tits. Talking about tits.
Nah, talking about pork buns.
Boobies.
But you would call them the bips and baps.
No, there's bips and baps. It's two different things. Or is it bips and baps? Which way does it go? It's personal. It's dealer's choice. It's bips and baps or bips and baps. It's however.
It's just labels. It's fine.
Exactly.
Label each one whatever you want.
That's how it works. But, that's how it works. That's all the news I got. That's all the news I got for you. I don't know what else to say. That's all the news I got for you.
Like I'm pretty much.
We covered the NFT stuff. You're slowly rotisserie over there.
Oh, 100%. I am about to sweat to death. I will be a pork bun by the day's end.
That makes sense.
I will be sweaty on the outside with, I don't know, weird stuff on the inside.
It's kind of exciting. I'm almost more excited about indie game releases now than I am big game releases, just because they're not as hyped up, and then they just appear, and you're just like, oh my god. But like the other news cycle is like, this game has been hyped up for 4 years. We've delayed it 16 times. The person who made the game left 1 million years ago. Okay, that's a story we have to talk about real quick. Did we talk about that last week, the Balan Wonderworld thing?
Yes, we did.
Okay, then I guess we don't have to talk about it. I forget what happens in a week, but that was nuts.
And then you have like that with the AAA thing, and then you go to indie, and I think we were looking yesterday on like the Epic Game Store, and there was like that Metal Gear comedy knockoff or whatever it is.
The game also looks awesome. An indie title. Unmetal looks awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and of course, with that sort of thing, smaller games, smaller releases, they're able to be, experimental and weird, and sometimes that pays off, and then sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get in sound mind, which again, it's not the game's not bad.
Has very cool moments, but I don't have patience for as much padding as they were putting in it, man. Because here's the reason that broke me was I could literally look up in the sky and see the other 3 blue lasers and go, I have to do this 3 more times. I don't want to do this 3 more times.
Yeah. And even me, I'm like, I could probably like try to like goad him, like poke him, be like, come on, just do something, do it. So give him a little cattle prod and just kind of get you. But
why would you want me to do that? I was miserable. Let's not have it.
Exactly. That's the thing.
After the moment I got to the jumping puzzle, I was done. Yeah. And the moment I fell through the floor, I was ready to uninstall on camera.
It was literally just like watching a soul die in real time.
Yeah. Y'all should go watch that if you want to see me just go through the phases of grief. Like, you will see it all play out before you, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's great. And then I'm just like, to the point where I'm literally doing this right here off camera, just like, god damn it, god damn it. Yeah. You should go watch that. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah. On that note, go watch all of our things that are coming out.
That will come out in a couple of days.
Yeah, I put that little.
The TikTok with that in it is already out, but that episode itself will not air for a couple more days.
It'll probably come out Friday, I guess.
Something. Thursday or Friday. I don't remember how many days ahead we've got booted up, but that will be out. We've got Bug Snacks coming out.
And look forward to whatever we decide to do next.
The Ravenous Devils one is out. That came out today. We're going to do Trek to Yomi and other releases. Hands-on on that, but yeah. And other releases and stuff that we touch. Yeah, at least a hands-on. Yeah, for sure, because it's like, all right, whatever. It'll probably be a very fun game to play. It may not be very fun to watch. Maybe one of those things where it's like super fun. I'm just saying it may just be super fun to play, and it'll look beautiful, but like it's also on Game Pass, so everybody can just go play it and just enjoy it.
And so's Bug Snacks. Again, go play that game too.
Go play Bug Snacks. Bug Snacks is so good. I have been Dead Action Jones. I'm sorry that I've had to stop this episode 6 times due to life happening, but I will edit that, and you watching this will be fine. If you see jumps, just know life happened.
I'm a sweaty Joe Zombie.
Gross. Nothing is worse than a sweaty Joe Zombie.
I'm aware. Trust me. As the person living in this sweaty skin right now, it is. It's as bad as it sounds.
It doesn't help having the name Joe Zombie talking about sweaty. It's like a sweaty Dead Action Jones isn't anywhere near as bad as a sweaty Joe Zombie. You're like, oh,
how dare you?
No way.
Don't you besmirch my name?
I don't want that. I don't.
Sweaty or not.
We are still standing. You can follow us on. You know what I forgot to do? I keep forgetting to put our name tags underneath us on the podcast thing, because we use it once a week versus every other day of the week. I've been Dead Action Jones. You can find me on Twitter at Dead Action Jones. He is Joe Zombie. You can find him at Joe Zombie with a 3 instead of an E at the end of the zombie.
So you got to do what you got to do.
It's true. And we are still standing. You can follow I think it's at @still_tweetin with no G. Yep. And we have...
Follow us on the TikToks.
Follow us on the TikToks. I think we are called We Are Still Standing.
Yep.
And then, hit all the likes and subscribes and stuff. If you're watching this on Apple, if you're listening to this on Apple, hit that button, give us a 5-star, do the things, make us be seen. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It helps with visibility. If you're on SoundCloud, hit that thumbs up, rate it, do the whole shebang. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment everywhere. I don't care. I read them. I literally go look at the stuff to see what it is. And when I go look on SoundCloud, most of them are like dumb bots that are like, I loved your rap album. And I'm like, sweet babe, did you like the part where I rapped about Reggie? Was it cool?
I loved my rap album too.
Yeah, it was super sick, right? I was dropping sick bars.
Or we dropped a rap anti-NFT rap album. That's what we did.
Yeah, correct. My name is NFT, and I'm here to say I'm a big bozo in a major way. And then they were like, play it, it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, not real person.
Yes, thank you, random bot. Anyway, thank you for watching. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Bye.